All right, everyone, thank you for bearing with me. So, we're going to be kicking off today's stream with a replay before we get into some practice for the NEC coming up tomorrow. Phil and I will be running the NEC in our Mustang, getting ready for the 24-hour coming up, putting in the last final bit if we need to make any tweaks or changes. We're going to be putting in that last final practice on the car before we lock it in. Before we do that, though, we're going to do a replay from yesterday, an absolute amazing race. So we ended up in a race with this guy who's ranked number 5 on the leaderboard of LMP3 trophy, Sean Symes. I hope I'm saying that wrong. Right. Shout out to you. Amazing driver. He's been playing the game since 2011. Before we do that, though, we're reminding everyone here, I've only been doing this for about 8 months now. And we ended up in an amazing race with him. I don't want to spoil it at all. We're just going to open up the replay, let her rip. Hope you guys enjoy it. And after the replay, we will be right back with some NEC practice in the Mustang GT3 2011. See y'all then. Reminding everyone here, I've only been doing this for about 8 months. What a race that was. What an insane race. I really wanted to replay that back for everyone. And for myself, I'm proud of that. Come on. I've been doing this for about 8 months seriously now. And I just beat a top 5 ranked driver in the LMP3 series who's been doing this since 2011. So I'm going to mark that as my first highly ranked driver on the LRG hit list that we've beaten. Not in a disrespectful way, just as a nod to an accomplishment we've done. And obviously, shout out to that driver who was very talented. There was a lot of strategicness going on there that I wasn't quite ready for. Usually, ooh, that's tempting. Do we do another one of those? No, it's in 20 minutes. We're going to run the stream out with some practice for tomorrow, get as prepped as we can. But anyways, what I was saying is, during that race, there was a lot of times where we were doing, like, for instance, a lot of these races, I'll push, but I won't push 100%. And a lot of our guys on this team do this philosophy where we try to make our 95% as fast as everyone else's 100. And at a certain level, it'll work, but obviously, faster guys will be faster than your 95%. But most of the time, I'm driving at 95%, and I have that little bit of extra to push if I need to. If a guy is getting close, I feel like maybe I've tired him out, then I'll really start pushing to see if I can gap him when he's got arm fatigue, that kind of thing. If you guys watch that race back that we just streamed, me and the top 5 driver, Sean Symes, I hope I'm saying that right. Shout out to you, buddy. I tried doing that to him, and then he was clearly doing it to me at the same time. So it was the first time where I felt like I was having someone trying to game me while I was trying to game them. And it was like, okay, here we go. And then I made that mistake, and I was like, okay, this is a part where I can kind of ease off and rest. Maybe it'll give him some rope to hang himself. Maybe he will feel like, okay, this is my moment to push, and he'll really go for it and try to gap me. And I know at that point, anyone's going to be tired, arm fatigue, if you're running decent force feedback. So we kind of eased off. We let him kind of have a gap, and then right at the end of that last lap, we gave it everything we had to get right back close to him. And as soon as we got close to him, he tried running through that final bend as fast as he could before the final chicane, and he put it in the wall, and we took it. We won. We beat him. And that was our first highly ranked driver, top 5 ranked driver in the LMP3 series, beat fair and clean. Amazing race. Shout out to you, Sean. But it really showed me what it's like at a higher level where you have to be ready to have not just first gear, second gear, but you need third and fourth gear to kick it into as well. So it really showed me that there's a lot more higher of a ceiling above me than I originally gave respect to. But there's guys out there who can do what I do and do it better and have probably a 5th and a 6th gear beyond that. So we got to find our 3rd and 4th at this point. But yeah, that was a really good race, good lesson learned, and a lot of fun. So the rest of our stream, we're going to be practicing for the NL24. But in doing so, we're practicing for the NEC tomorrow. The track is wet. In almost every practice server, the track is it's mostly dry here. A lot of them have been slightly wet or wet, and it looks like there's a 38% chance, I think, for rain this weekend. So we've just been dialing in the car, making sure it feels okay on a slightly wet track, on a wet track, in wet tires, all that kind of stuff. So today we're just going to be chilling and practicing for tomorrow. Because Phil and I are I'm going to turn that down just a little bit in-game, because Phil and I are definitely looking for a good finish in the NEC, but we're looking for a podium or a win in the NL24. JR, make sure you have got yourself in communication with Nando or Not a Bot, which is Hawk, in the Discord, so we can get you onto our development driver squad if you still feel like you want to participate in the NL24. We got to make sure that all of our guys who want to participate get their chance and the seat in the car they want to drive, or in the squad they feel most comfortable in. Still a little bit of wetty poo on the track. Probably just going to be near the insides of the corners, though. So this is with the 4 degree. We've swapped to the 4 instead of 3 on our setup. Not just because of the potential of rain, but just because of the fact this is an endurance race over 24 hours on probably the most challenging track in the world. So taking it just a little bit off that knife's edge is a good idea. But honestly, it doesn't lose any pace. If anything, it's a little quicker and also more consistent because of being able to drive it easier.
Car 264, just set the fastest lap.
Whoa, car 264. Oh, that's all good, dude. I was just saying, since you had raised interest in doing it, I just wanted to make sure if you wanted to do it, you were getting taken care of and sorted. But no problem, man. Not a problem. But yeah, watch. So, flat out. You can do all this flat out first lap with the 4 degree. Is it pissing? Oh no, it must have just been a little bit of spray. All good, man. There will be many more. And there's also lots of other events that if you ever get interested in, you just tell us and we'll get you into it, even if it's just a weekend SimuCube. All you gotta do is when there's an event coming up, just say in the Discord that you would like to get into it, and that's all it takes. Ran that line wrong and understeered a bit. Angustia. Understeer. Übersteer. Whoa. Hit a patch of wet there a little bit. Shit my britches. Plus, most importantly, this weekend's NEC is mostly about helping Phil get his new pedals dialed in. Because we now have the second full-on partner of Team LRG with SRP Pro, and his name is the Philster. He's, as far as I know, the first North American content creator with the GTS full set triple stack goodness. GTS pedals from SRP Pro. Use the code PHIL. It will get you 5% off anything on their website. Peripherals, pedals, gloves, anything. See, first lap, even almost on a, well, it's mostly dry, but it's still slightly wet. And even with a 4 degree, I can pretty much almost flat out that first. Well, it isn't really our first lap, it's our off lap. First lap, you can flat out all of it. off lap, slight lift. Carousel, you got to be careful because the water pools on the inside there. And if you accelerate when your tire is over one of those puddles, game over, forget about it. Yep, few more weeks. It's gonna be awesome, man. You're gonna frickin' love them, dude. No matter what set you decide to go with, whether the GTR or the GTS, you're gonna love them because they're both the exact same tech. The GTS is just slightly more modernized tech, and they don't quite have the same adjustability when it comes to being able to adjust the pedal's angle. Other than that, they're exactly the same. Oh, and the shape of the pedal keys is slightly different. But I think you can order the regular pedal keys that, like, I have on my GTRs if you want. But no matter what set you go with, you will love them. Just don't get the Formula set because they are specifically made for Formula-shaped cockpits. Like, if you want to be able to come screaming in on braking zones and nail it like that every time, these pedals replicate real-life pedals so much. It's the exact same natural curve of an actual brake pedal. And through customization, you can make them feel like the master cylinder of a GT car or a prototype, whatever you're driving. They're going to give you the best muscle memory repeatability out of any pedal. Things like Simucube active pedals or the Moza active pedal, those are toys. These are actual training mechanisms. And they are like built to last like a nuclear war. And if something does fail on them, all you have to do is order the part and replace it yourself. Super simple, super modular. Active pedals, they're all like electronic on the inside and shit. And if they fail, it's just a nightmare. So do the right thing, get yourself a man's pedal, not a toy, a fucking training tool, and get yourself some SRP Pro, bitches. That's a fucking trailer right there. Cut. I mean, why do you think we've sold over 30 sets? Because people see the proof in the pudding. And the best thing about them is when you calibrate them, the software is a little different. It doesn't ask you to, it says press in the throttle, hold it, and then click next. But where it gets different is with the brake. So with the brake, it asks you, like most software will say, press it to the max, hold it, whatever, to calibrate it. How these pedals work on the brake is different. It asks you to press it to where you want the maximum press to be. So if you only want to use like 25% of the overall travel distance of your pedal, you just set that through calibration. And then through the adjustment of how the piston meets the pedal or the nut on the back of the brake, you can dictate how stiff the pedal is going to feel, which will replicate whatever kind of car's master cylinder you're trying to get the feel of. And it's why you need a pretty beefy cockpit. This one I have to run them as soft as possible, so I'm not getting the full potential of the pedals. If you have a really good, strong cockpit, you will get more potential of the pedals because you can run them closer to actual real-world stiffness. Came off the brake too soon there and screwed my exit line. Made up for it with a decent exit right there. So first time lap, you can pretty much flat out that. So I don't know how much safer you can really get, especially with something that's keeping the pace up like this. Usually something that's safe enough that you can flat out those sectors you're going to lose a lot of time with, but this thing's quick, very, very rapid. So we're going to run through the whole tank for practice, clearly. Hopped out a little early there for that exit. Should be a decent first lap. Normally the Mustang, you just want to ride fifth through here. And remember, the track is only mostly dry, so we're not in like a high grip condition or anything.
032, go left. Can't get too close to that curb on the inside. It's still wet, so there's little things like that that are going to compromise your line still, and the track is not fully dry, which is obviously not the most optimal grip conditions. But this is going to be what it's going to be like tomorrow, so it's what we want to practice with. And I have a feeling that if the NEC is going to be like this, that there's a good chance it may rain for the 24-hour. So all good things to get ready for. Well, not good things to get ready for, but it's a good thing to get ready for those things. One way of that word arrangement is right. Oh yeah, and this weekend, if it works out right, we're trying to organize it so that we can stream all the squads who are doing the NEC for our team this weekend. So that should be the Racing Without Limits squad with Nando and Sean and the others. It should be our squad with Jojo, Palmer, and Sin, and then obviously myself and Phil. That way we can kind of highlight all of our drivers in the run-up to the 24-hour. Damn it, hit that curb and really screwed my exit there. Oh shit, is that a fucking Carrera GT4? Oh, please don't shit your britches in front of me, just go. Right side. Clear.
Thank you, sir, but you fucked my line a little. Excuse me.
Brought it into second there because we would have been in too low of an RPM for third. Hard to get a good exit out of there when it's still a little wet. Yeah, second works best to kick you out of there the fastest, I think. Try going into sixth. Let's see. Little faster. You got to get a really good run out of that last corner onto the straight, though.
You've got about 5 laps of fuel.
So 8 flat on a track that's still partially wet. On our second time lap, we're definitely going to get that sub 8. And we're not even in high grip conditions right now. Tried to get it as close to that inside curve as we can, and you can see just how big of a deal it makes with your delta. Oh, I screwburgered that exit. Screwburger! Hey, it's our little Carrera friend again. Oh, more little friends on the track now. Yay! We're not alone anymore, boys. Oh, little dude, get out of my way. God damn it.
All right. Still there, hold your line. Clear.
Oh, I know what I haven't done. I haven't changed my wheel lock. That's why I'm struggling here. Everything just is a little off. That's why you always got to check those things before you start. I use my Moza pit house to set my wheel lock. All the puddles are slowly starting to disappear now. Once we get on the back straight, I'll fix it. I might be able to do it here. Watch, I'll smoke a frickin' wall. Oh. Oh, it's precarious. Whoa. There. I did it! There we go. Now I should turn in. Whoa, see how freaking dangerous that is? Those puddles take a while to go. Those are the last ones that are still there. Well, some of the only ones that are left. Actually lost Delta doing that in fourth. For anyone wondering, I use a 720 wheel lock on the Mustang. Just had to close the Moses pit house. Well, not close it, just minimize it.
One point 493.
Still hard to get the perfect run through there because of a couple of the puddles. Ooh, same with there, see? Makes it a little more difficult to hit those like sub 8s when you can't quite nail perfect line exits. Brought it in too close that time with the new steering lock. Running 900 before was making everything a little sloppy. And yeah, you can see by no means am I having to baby the setup at all. We can drive the car. And that's what you want with an endurance setup. You don't want something you're going to have to baby. It just raises the risk potential. If you can get a setup that's quick, has pace, people can drive it. Even if they don't have the pace of your fastest drivers, they can be consistent and safe in it. That is your best endurance setup right there. Had a good run through there, pretty much cleaned up all that red. should have stayed on the throttle on the way out. I think we would have had it. Still hard to get a good exit out of that. Water just won't leave those little crevices in the carousel there. Crevices in the carousel. It's that bad. Too bad we didn't have a better lap. That was a nice exit on the final corner. This is why you want to practice before the event. Give yourself time to get into shape, into form. Make sure you're at your best. If you want good results, you got to put in the work. And that's the kind of phase that came naturally to our team once we kind of all bonded and started having fun at this and realizing, hey, you know, if we actually practiced, we might have a shot here. And then it just came natural. It's not something you have to impose or force on your team members. Definitely would have had a sub 8 there if we didn't screw a lot of that up. Really got to finagle it through there when it's still puddly and wet. Lots of grim fandangoing. That one really slows us. You can't really accelerate out of that. Needed to get on the throttle a little sooner there. So our record on a proper dry high grip track in this car is a 754 on this layout. Excuse me, sorry. screwed that up bad. Couldn't pick a gear. That's what indecisiveness does right there. We got one more in the tank, so we'll be able to get 6 laps out of a tank. And that's not obviously trying to fuel save, that's just foot down. Oh, the tires are starting to cook, I can tell.
lap of fuel left.
Oh, I totally overshot that. These tires are just not gripping anymore. Needed to back that entry up on the final lap. We'll take it into the pits and we're going to see what our tires are at here. I think we were on a low 59 before we had that happen. So it's definitely able to rip pace on even not optimal grip condition track. Oh yeah, she understeering now. Some of it was probably from overdriving the car to try to find the pace on the wet track, or partially dry track, I should say. Which is less than optimal grip. Try shifting to 6 there to see what kind of run we can get. But everything I've tested in this car tells me it likes to stay in 5th as long as possible. But that was with the old BOP. Still seems to be true though.
Don't forget to pit for more fuel.
Got my pit entrance down here.
Pit box in 5, 3, 2, 1. Right here.
Front fall off is on the front left. It wasn't really that bad though. I must have just been overheating the shit out of the tires when I was driving them and using up that tire, what I call grip per corner percentage, not overall percentage. It's like you have a overall grip bar, and when you enter a corner, if you use all that up, you have nothing for exit. You've overcooked your tires on entry. So you want to make sure you're only maybe using a little bit of that bar for entry and then saving a lot of that grip for exit. So yeah, that practice session went pretty well. We've shown that you can drive this car with the 4-degree wing, mind you. Very stable, very consistent. You can make mistakes in it, recover the car, no big deal. So let's see if we got any races coming up before we cut the stream for today. And then tomorrow, make sure you guys tune in for the NEC. Phil and I will be doing it. Jojo and his squad are doing it as well. And like I said, we're going to try streaming all the squads that are doing it tomorrow. It'll be starting at 10 a.m. PST. Make sure you guys are ready. We'll be live, like always,
on X and on YouTube. Oh my God, there's a production car endurance challenge on the Nürburgring. Oh, we've missed the qualifiers. Can we get into qualifiers for this? Oh my God, should we do this? No, I shouldn't. There's no way. There's no way. No, because I'll just totally screw my rating up. And I want to keep it where it at for a good split for tomorrow. So if this was sooner, I'd be doing this. But yeah, I think we're going to cut the stream today, keep it short, keep it to the point. And then we will be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. PST. So make sure you guys please tune in. We're going to be racing for the first time. 2 members on LRG, both with SRP Pro pedals on the same team. We're going to be unstoppable. We will see you guys tomorrow.